Mani Kohli is just a very simple person who just loves dressing people. It took me 25 years to achieve what I have.
Hi, my name's Am Golhar and I'm here today with Mani Kohli at the historic Khubsurat. Khubsurat means beautiful. Mani is renowned for her Asian fusion fashion and is one of the most iconic, phenomenal women that has changed British Asian fashion. So this year we are celebrating 100 years that women had the right to vote. So Manny, how do you feel the fashion for Asian British women has changed or evolved?
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to be able to come forward and speak about my journey out of the 100. I've done at least 36 and 40 as a woman in this country to seek identity for myself. And I chose the platform of fashion only because it was my hobby. I could expand on it and reflect and use it as a medium to express myself as a person. And I got that opportunity by sheer default. And I started off only because a lot of women came up to me and said they really liked the way I dressed up. Because I had probably stepped away from the norm of wearing a simple sari and a salwar kameez, which was what is expected out of the Asian woman in those days. And here I was stepped into trousers and sleek pants and long shirts and high tailored collars. So I think that just changed the image and perception of how a woman can look a little smart and appear a little bit more glamorous than just being a little demure woman that she's supposed to represent in those days.
So how did your journey begin, Manny, into fashion? Because you've been in the game for like over 40 years now.
Yeah.
So that's that's an amazing time to just be part of it, and this is who you are and this is what you're recognized for.
It began with just entertaining a few women who were, in those days I had to reach to the women behind closed doors. We had no shops to represent ready-made garments.
Yeah.
Which you today would technically call designer wear.
Yeah.
So I had to request women to let me come into their homes and bring my goods in the boot of my car and have coffee sessions where I would actually have, my hosts volunteer to dress up for me in what I had created and be able to actually use that medium to reach to the many women who were really hungry for something different from just a normal shalwar kameez or a sari. And that's where my journey began, in selling out of my boot in people's homes, in coffee sessions.
And I think you've just set the pathway for many British Asian designers as well. And you've got such a great experience, history, background, whatever you want to call it. You've dressed, Prince Andrew, Theresa May.
Yeah. A lot of Bollywood stars who were not being touched at the time by anybody.
Exactly.
And I was fortunate enough that whoever was working in the mainstream or otherwise wanted anyone dressed up. They would knock on my door and say, Mani, would you take that? Now, for me, that was a challenge too.
Yeah.
Because when you're dressing a celebrity, you're dressing their personality. It's not just the person.
Yeah.
So your notes have to strike the right chord in everyone's heart and the audience that's looking at it.
What outfits do you feel have changed the most, that have come back around, or you've been designing for such a long time now?
As I said, it's the attitude in the woman that has changed. The dress has remained the same. So it's more about the body languages that is coming forward now. The woman then would stand demure, her hands would be together. She'd probably not be upright in your face. But to the woman today, she's like, so tell me. So there's the body language difference, right? So this is how I see the change happening. The clothes have recycled. We're back into the 16s and 70s glamour. So we've got the
Yeah.
sari.
Yeah.
If you know, it was the 6 yards of wrapping a sari up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But those 6 yards today, I can zip you in one piece, which has all been framed and put together to hold it in under one shoulder length.
And I'll be
And
trying
you can
that
zip
one
into
too.
it,
Yeah.
and you're wearing a sari.
Yeah.
Pronto, you look so glamorous. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So there's that, and then you've got dresses.
Mm.
You've got dresses wherein you could talk about dresses as Cinderella dresses,
Mhm.
but you can now talk about drapes in dresses,
Mhm.
which gives a good fusion of the East and West, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that is so reflective of how we've evolved to carry it forward.
Yeah. What is new for you this year in 2018?
I am this year looking at how we can wear the skirts better
Okay.
and the lengths better.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I feel we have so overdone the short blouse, the corsets, the cholis, the saris, the lehengas.
Yeah.
So I'm finding a middle path to everything that would reflect a bit of both,
Yeah.
and yet make it look very smart and sophisticated, which is what basically, you know, it's like my champagne color.
Yeah.
It does signify a lot
Yeah.
for me. It signifies sophistication
I
for
love
me.
this skirt. Like, it's got little dancing lady people on it, and
Well-
you know, it's just amazing.
Do you know this is a bridal outfit, right?
Wow.
So what does a woman feel when she's getting married? It has to
Happy.
reflect.
Yeah, of course.
This is happiness.
Yeah.
So this is all she's doing, dancing her way to the wedding. It's all about her mood
Amazing.
reflected in her attire.
Yeah.
It's her feeling of elevation, her feeling of being so happy.
Yeah.
She's looking forward to a new chapter in life.
Yeah.
And why not dance into it and dance through it?
It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful, elegant piece as well.
One of my favorites.
One of mine too. So since 1918, which is 100 years, that women have been able to vote. That's a very long time.
yes.
How much do you think that's changed for British Asian women in general?
Well, they've come a long way.
Yeah, I agree.
They have, well, in England alone, we have MPs and many other offices being represented by
Mhm.
British Asian women. From Rita Faria, the first world title to be won, we now every second year have a winner, from Sushmita Sen and Aishwarya Rai to the new ones that are coming out now. Don't forget, we've got Neelam Gill, who represented the Burberry fashion phase.
Exactly.
So in England alone, we've got a lot to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, we've had Priyanka Chopra walk Baywatch.
Yeah,
What more
that's
could
true.
we ask? So women have represented pretty well, the astronauts, the scientists. There's a lot of names we can now say that women have come to the forefront besides just fashion and look pretty. They've got brains and they've proved it. And this is such a point that has to be applauded
Yeah.
for all of us together for having walked this far. And I'm sure we've got a lot more to look forward to, with more faces in jobs we least expect,
Mhm.
for the freedom that can be given to women to be who they are, what they are, and never short of either brains or matter as a man.
I also feel though that the newer, younger generation aren't so aware of the challenges, you know, that were faced 50, 60 years ago with, you know, their grandparents and everything that they had to overcome because they were women. Now you've got the reality TV shows, and that's what they aspire to be like, but they don't understand the challenges that were faced and so on. What do you feel about that?
I totally agree, Am, because I think there's a lot of it is probably to blame for us stepping away from the joint families and the cultural upbringing, or should I say family upbringing that we used to have as families living together. Somewhere along we've got too ambitious, and in the ambition we probably lost our values, and we forgot to even say thank you to the people who paved the way for us to make our lives better.
I think some also don't see what else is going on in the world. You know, we're all very grateful to what we've achieved and where we're at, but also sometimes it's not looked back with the women that are still suffering.
Oh, definitely. I think There are a lot of mental health issues because of that. A lot of suffering that women are having to go through is purely because they're fighting an identity crisis, a lack of confidence. It's really it's just about being able to express yourself, to be heard, to be seen, to be recognized. Some of us are very lucky that we do have partners who uphold us and friends who let us be who we are. But there are a lot of women out there, whom I personally know as well, who have so much difficulty even getting out of their homes to express. They may look very modern on the outside, they may look very trendy on the outside, but inside they're craving to be able to be liberated from that chain of thoughts and that restrictive values that they are stuck in. But you know what, given time, I think we all will, because we look at the way how far we've walked. So if you look back, and I think this is what the generations now have to do, is look back in these 100 years, what we started with. Women used to bring water from the wells 100 years back, even in England. The toilets were outside the house, even in England. So forget about our countries back home. Okay, so we have come a long way. And look where we are today, right? So I think this is some of the few things that people have to really look over their shoulder and check. I hope that's not going to catch up with us. We need to better it for the next generation, but better it with some sort of values intact, with respect for the people who walked that path to get you this far. I think that's what is probably needed more than anything else, is recognition of what we are today, but who we owe it to.
Mani, thank you so much for allowing me to come into the store, play a little bit of dress up, and just see how things have changed so much. And you've been in the industry for a very long time. And no, it's great. I mean, you're a phenomenal woman that has had her own journey and opened up the British Asian fashion to a lot of people. So yes, thank you so much for your input and celebrating women, but there's a lot to still happen at the moment. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yippee, we are 100 years old women.
Yes.